You are thinking about being a Scrum Master. So you currently work in a different field outside of being a Scrum Master, or you currently work in an IT environment and you're thinking of transitioning on how to be a Scrum Master. On today's video, I'm going to be describing lists in the knowledge category and also in the practical category you can do today to get your feet wet on how you can gain entrance in you starting your Scrum journey. And welcome back to Aisha Scrum. I'm very happy to be here. So let's get back to the board. So looking at my board, I have like broken down lists what you should do or what can help prepare you about you starting your Scrum journey. So let's first look at the knowledge base category. In the knowledge base category, the first thing I have in my board is the Agile Manifesto. The Agile Manifesto is online. You can Google that, www.agilemanifesto.org. You go to that website, you can learn about the Agile Manifesto, how these 17 engineers come together and started this whole journey of this Agile. Because it's very, very important for every Scrum Master, regardless of what kind of area or what kind of environment you'll be working at, for you to understand the importance of the Agile Manifesto. Because if you look at the Agile Manifesto, you realize that it also correlates with everything else we do in Scrum. So the Agile Manifesto is the foundation. Because before we start to do going to this Scrum event, doing Agile, we have to first be Agile. And it's also, research shows that for a Scrum team to be very, very successful, you have to have the mindset, because the mindset is very, very important. So the next thing I have in my board is for you to understand and learn the Scrum Guide. The Scrum Guide is online. It's a 14-page, basically 13-page, because the first page is like just the agenda and the table of contents, and the next 13 page is like a framework of describe a list of Scrum events and things you can do to kickstart a Scrum team. And remember, even though in the Scrum Guide, it said that Scrum is based on empiricism, right? So basically, you will learn from experience. It's also just a guide, basically a stepping stone for any Scrum team to start. And from that stepping stone, then your team will continue to experience and adjust and learn as you continue to go. But the Scrum Guide is something that you must know and you must understand, especially also for your PSM1 exam, because the Scrum Guide is so related to this PSM1 exam. So the Scrum Guide is very, very important for you to understand if you want to go into this role of being a Scrum Master, or you're thinking about transitioning to be a Scrum Master. So the Scrum Guide is also that guide that is very, very important for you to know and understand, and if not, watch videos online on how you can learn about it to know about the Scrum Guide. So the next thing I wrote about here is user story. And user story is true, like it's always coming from like the product owner, and the product owner might be the most people or the business analyst that will be writing this user story. But it's very, very important for you to be able to understand the overall work of your team, or the overall project that your team is working on, understanding from the roadmap, from going from the initiative, like the DEMs, capabilities, the epics, and the futures stories. You must understand the hierarchy of user story. Because if you can understand the hierarchy of user story, so when you do go to your team, you will understand how you can able to interpret what's reading. So if you can understand user story, you will know how to look at those anti-patterns and know what makes a good user story. Because if you don't know what makes a good user story, it will be very difficult for you to understand the description, the acceptance criteria. And what I love about user story is that it's not written in technical form. It's written in a form that where anyone, and it's not even technical, can read this and understand what the user is asking of. So that's why it's very, very important if you plan to be a Scrum Master, or you're in the process of your learning about being a Scrum Master, or you are transitioning to be a Scrum Master, to understand user story. So the next thing I wrote about here also is estimation. So estimation, everyone do it differently. So when it comes to estimation, but it's good for you as a Scrum Master, your potential Scrum Master, or an aspiring Scrum Master, for you to understand estimation. Because estimation is done in a different level. We have estimation in t-shirt sizing, we have estimation in story points, we have estimate in days. So that's why it's very, very important for you to, you plan to be a Scrum Master, to understand the differences in estimation and know that every company do estimation differently. I don't think I've ever been to a company where all of them do estimation the same way. I've always have to, that's one thing that I continue to learn, based on the company I'm working for. And sometimes you go to your company, they don't even do it at all. You may be that Scrum Master that have to introduce that to the team. It is very, very common, especially for a company that's transitioning. So it's very, very important for you to have this knowledge of estimation beforehand for you to start applying for jobs and all of that. So estimation is also important. So the next thing also I have on the board is capacity planning. And capacity planning is also like, I know that when I was working in the safe environment, I saw that I was something that was so important in safe, because like they need this transparency in all of the agile release train in the arts. So they wanted all of us to do capacity even prior to the PI planning itself. So it's something that you always want to account for the 3 months before we know how much we can even estimate for any given sprint. So the capacity planner, like based on my experience, I know like people might experience differently with this. It's something that's very, very important for a potential Scrum Master or aspiring Scrum Master to understand. But also, just like the estimation, it is done very differently in every company. But in my assessment, I think if you can understand this and learn about the generalized thing and be open-minded about it, it will at least give you a baseline on how to start when you do get your job as a Scrum Master. So the next thing I have in the board is to interpret metrics. To interpret metric is very, very important. If you did not watch my video about the burn down chart and velocity, it's all down below. I took my time and explained the burn down chart in basic of the basic, simple step by step. For every newcomer, they can look at that and able to interpret it. And also the velocity, I also have a video below on a velocity. I also took my time and explained step by step on how you can come up with the average velocity or the team on velocity. So for every Scrum Master, it's very important for you to know how to interpret metrics. Although you might not know all of this, which is fine, like if you're trying to get into this field, but if you already work in the IT environment and you see the opportunity where you can actually shadow a Scrum team or actually like internship in a Scrum team, that's everyone will be relying on you, the Scrum Master, to interpret all of these metrics. So it's very, very important for you, the Scrum Master, to know how to interpret and read the burn down chart. So the next thing I have is tools. So the tools is something that is good for you to know. Like, although like every company to have different tools that they use. I know Jira is the most popular one. So that's why you go to YouTube, you see a lot of videos on Jira, right? We also have Azure DevOps, and we also have Rally. Rally is also used. And at one time too, they were using Trello, and also some people now using version 1. So they have all these different project management tools that we use to track the progress of our team on a daily basis. And it's good for you to like watch and learn about those. And there's tons of video online on YouTube for free where you can look at those and learn about it. I also have a lot of videos on Jira on my playlist, so you can continue to learn about Jira. It's something for you to know and understand, although everything might not make sense, right? Because you're trying to like branch into this job and learn about this job, but at least you have a knowledge about it. So as you continue to progress in your experience or things you have done in your current job, even though you're not working in IT, can definitely keep you guided to that. So the next thing I have is virtual meeting, because it's very, very important to know that in the IT world, especially in the Scrum world, I work with a lot of team members that are onshore and offshore. And sometimes when you're a Scrum Master, you do work in the office, and sometimes too you do hybrid, where you work like 2 days in the office, 3 days at home, and sometimes too you work 100% remote. So there is always going to be like a virtual tool that you will use. The most popular ones I know at work, we use like the Microsoft Teams, and Zoom is another one, and we use like Skype. Some people use Skype, some people use WebEx, and all these, and Google Meet. All these different virtual meetings tools is good for you to learn them and practice them. There's tons of YouTube video online for free on knowing how to use these tools. So as you are preparing yourself or trying to prepare for your internship or trying to prepare for your work on shadowing and learning, so at least you give yourself a head up by you taking your time and researching and learning about these tools. It will help prepare you for this job as a Scrum Master. So the next thing I put down here is certification. And certification, there's a lot of, it's very, very important for me to even say that when it comes to certification do not determine that you are a Scrum Master. You having a Scrum certificate is just like a checkbox you need for HR, because sometimes HR like want people that have a PSM1 certificate or a CSM1 certificate, which is like the entry level certification needed for Scrum Master. But when you do have that certification, that do not mean that you have everything you know, you have all the things you need to know to be a Scrum Master. Continue learning and practical things. That's what prep you to go and be a Scrum Master, and have that nice mentor or guidance that can help you, or even at work that can guide you into you going to be the Scrum Master. But certification I know is also good to have, because a lot of jobs ask for it, and it's good for you to have it because then you give you a leg up when you're doing for interviews and also when you're applying for a job. So the entry level certification for Scrum Master is Professional Scrum Master 1 from scrum.org, and also CSM, which is Certified Scrum Master from Scrum Alliance. So the CSM is 2 days class, like paid. I know it's like more expensive compared to the PSM one, and the PSM one is the self-learning one, whereby you go take this test, and that one is actually cheaper. I think it's like $150. So those are the 2 different entry-level certification you can take to get your leg up into this job. So that's that in the knowledge category, what can help prep you, like if you have the intention to transition, if you currently work in IT, or you've never worked in IT and you're thinking about joining this place, this is a very good place, this good knowledge for you to have. It's not that people are like, okay, Aisha, you're telling me about, I want to be a Scrum Master, I've never worked in IT, so how can I even branch in and work in IT and when I've never worked in IT? So I actually said it's very, very possible, whereby you go in and you apply as a junior Scrum Master. And in your resume, you already work in a job, and we all work in a company or work in a job whereby we either part of a team, or we work in customer services, we work in sales. Some of the skills needed for you to be a Scrum Master, I guarantee you already have some of them. As long as you've always kept a job, either you're working in sales, you work like outside of IT, or you work like in healthcare, you already build that communication skills needed, you already build that soft skills needed with your communication with team members and communication with your team. And that skills is something that you're going to add in your resume about what you've done in that area that can get you prepared on to get into this role about being a Scrum Master. So that's the knowledge part. So now let's get into the practical part. And looking at the practical part, I have I'll always tell people to always start where you are. Like, you always want to start where you are. Like, if you currently, let's say for example, you work as a salesperson, and you're working as a salesperson and you're thinking about being a Scrum Master. So before I start going online and start applying for Scrum Master job or looking for things online, I'll first start at my company. I'll start my company and go to my leadership and go to my management and be like, okay, by the way, I've learned these new skills and I have all this knowledge about Agile. I know about the Scrum Guide. I know about creating a Scrum team, and I have attended a seminar, or I've joined these meetings, I have joined all this group, and I think I would like for us to try implementing little Scrum team at work. So what do you all think about me doing that? Always first ask, right? You always ask the leadership if they're open for your team to just try this little thing. You might not do everything the right way, but at least maybe you can start with, because you all, I'm sure, do meetings, and you can call this meeting the daily meeting, where you all will focus on what you plan to do for that day, and you implement this Scrum event at your current job, and try to see the outcome, and you try to have real goals for 2 weeks and see how that comes. Other thing too you can do also is, like, for example, if you already work in IT and you also for example, you're a product manager or you're a business manager and you're thinking about being a Scrum Master, you can ask your management or your leadership, oh, I see that we already have Scrum implemented some part of our company. Do you mind if I can observe some of those teams or shadow some of those teams and see how they run their Scrum events, so that I can learn 1 or 2 things, because my goal, my plan is to be a Scrum Master. So basically, Agile and Scrum can be implemented not only in IT software development, it literally can be implemented everywhere. It can be implemented in school, in clubs, and in marketing, all kind of things, not just only developing new software. So that's something you can always start where you are. So that's how I'm a big fan of that. So the next thing I will continue to tell is about the building your soft skills. It's very important to know that, like, when you're a Scrum Master, it is very important for you to be a good communicator, a good listener, very, very important, and someone that's empathetic, that you always have people interest over yours, and also you try to like always like you care about people over numbers is very, very important. So you care about the people, you care about the people you work with, you care about the community, you care about your team, you care about everything, and you're very passionate about working with people and helping people succeed. So it's good to have those skills and also being that openness and caring for team members. And sometimes you already build these natural skills from your home, from your life experiences, from ever experience. So I believe that everyone have some kind of soft skill into them, so that you continue to build on those soft skills, because that's something you will definitely need to be a very good Scrum Master. And sometimes too, if you notice about being a Scrum Master, it's not about how much Agile and Scrum you know, but it's about how open you are and your growth mindset, and you being that person that actually you're actually wanting to see your team member win, wanting to see you like you have a plan and you achieve your goal at the end, and you influencing the team and you guiding this team to achieving their goal. And if you're that kind of person, like you like to cheer on people, you like to support people, then it's a very, very good role for you. So the next thing I have is for you to practice Scrum events. Practice Scrum events, and it's something that, to be honest, I even did at home. I remember when I was transitioning from a project manager to Scrum Master, I started at my house. So I had my Scrum board like in to do, in progress, in review, and done. So I used that to actually plan one of a vacation trip for me and my spouse, and that actually helped us and my kids. So that's something you can actually do and practice even if you don't work in an IT environment. People are like, oh Aisha, how can I practice Scrum events? I don't even work in IT. I'm trying to get in IT. Yes, it is true. But to be honest, I guarantee you, try it. Go at home right now, have a board. You can even have this whiteboard, like it's even sold online, it's like very cheap. And have a column, have a to-do, and in progress, in review, and done. Like you have all of this, and you go to your interview and you tell your interviewers that, oh, I actually have practiced Scrum at home. I use Scrum to plan my wedding. I use Scrum to plan my Thanksgiving holiday. I use Scrum to plan my Christmas party. And this is what I did. This is actually the outcome. And you tell them about everything you do, your interviewer will be so impressed, and they will definitely give you that opportunity. So that's what I mean about you practicing Scrum at where you are or wherever and what environment you are, and that will definitely guide you to you being in this, getting your entry level into the Scrum Master role. So the next thing I have is to use your prior experience, which I've already mentioned, but that's also very important, because regardless of what kind of experience you have in the past, I assure you, you already have some of those skills needed to be a Scrum Master. Regardless if you work in finance, if you work in customer services, or you work in healthcare, any other place, I'm sure you already have 50% of those skills already needed. You just have to maybe gain the knowledge part of things. But that's also very important for you to know the knowledge, understand the Scrum Guide, know about the Agile Manifesto, and then if you go to the company, you also will have to learn the company own way of doing things, learn about the company's mission, the vision, and the product vision, and everything you're working on, and that will later on help guide you. But all you have to know is this bare minimum thing, that you can go to this interviewer and tell them you are open to be a junior Scrum Master, you've done all of this so far, you've done all of that, and you are willing to get in this opportunity to be as a Scrum Master and things you've been practicing. So the next thing I have is to let the leadership know. It's very, very important that you also let the leadership know. If you, like, for example, already work in an environment where it's an IT already, it's even easier, right? Then you let the leadership know about your intention, like, oh, right now I'm a project coordinator, and I really feel like I'm in a position where I want to be a Scrum Master, so and so, this is what I've done. I did all of this and I have my Scrum certificate. I feel like I'm in a position, I would like an opportunity where I can practice as a Scrum Master. And if I get a mentor too at work that can help guide me, I would truly appreciate. So tell your leadership your intention. And I don't think there's never, always been a leadership people that will always want to support you in this your new career move. So definitely let your leadership know, and they will definitely support you and guide you into this new entry level you're looking for to become a Scrum Master. Next thing for you to attend seminar. I don't know how I can stress attending a seminar, so important. And LinkedIn is one of those places they always have free seminars. It's virtual. You can connect from everywhere where you can learn about that. There's always continue learning you have to do in this field. And LinkedIn is one of those places where you can sometimes say free seminar and free webinar you can attend with this high agilists with a good agile mindset. Attending seminar is also one of those that's very, very important for help you to continue to learn and grow. And by you attending this seminar too, you can also meet like-minded agilists that can guide you and support you, and you're letting them know about your intention about you joining this field. And LinkedIn is a place where you can always say a free seminar where you can attend. Recently, I just attended a seminar with Jeff Sutherland. He is one of the founder of Scrum. So I think it's very, very, and that seminar was free, to be honest. I think it's important for you also to have a LinkedIn account and try to connect with like-minded agilists and show them that you are someone that want to get into this field. And there's a lot of seminars online that are free, and that's something you can make. Another thing that I have here is the Agile Meetup. Agile Meetup is sometimes you can see people that post online like, oh, we have this meetup about Agile, about this. We're going to be discussing about user story in this meetup. We're going to be discussing about better Scrum event planning or better team building activity planning. So sometimes you see all of these free seminar online where you can attend. Sometimes they have paid ones, but they are actually even worth it, even though you do pay for it. Because you come out of that seminar or come out of that meetup learning something so valuable that can help you in this process of you trying to gain knowledge, gain experience into this field. The other thing I have here is, if possible, is to get internship if possible. Like if you're a recent graduate or you feel like in a position this is something that you truly want to do, you can look for internship. Sometimes I know you can search online, you can see if they do have internship anywhere. If they don't even have internship, you can even contact companies that you see that they have Scrum or Scrum Master job, and you send an email to that company's HR telling them your intention of you wanting an internship about being a Scrum Master, and it also lists out things you've already done and why should they give you this opportunity. You'll be surprised how sometimes you can actually get this opportunity to intern or shadow a Scrum team, and then hopefully that will not even get you the breakthrough you needed to get into the Scrum role. Other thing I have here, the last thing I have here is for you to network. Network, because to be honest, it's very, very important for us to network. And if you can network, that can definitely help you and guide you to get in this role. And when you do go to this seminar or this event online, sometimes even on YouTube, you have like a lot of live YouTube video about agilists, like good agilists that have been in the field for so long. They want to share their knowledge, they want to give back to the community. That's something you can always attend and also watch YouTube video and learn. And if possible, if you can afford it, also get a mentor, because mentor also can help guide you and support you in this process. But it's very important to know that if you try to get into this field and you work hard and you're honest with your process and you try to connect and meet the right people and continue to learn and continue to do your research, and there is no way you can get in this field. So it is very possible for you to get in this field. And thank you very much. I hope this video has been very valuable to you. If so, please like and subscribe to Aisha Scrum platform. I truly appreciate you all, and see you all again next time.